This is part two of breaking a role into a playbook, where we will now cover how to create a role from scratch. To start, I need to add another role into my roles folder, which I'll call a common role. This type of a role is something you might see if you have servers with different purposes, i.e., web servers or database servers, but you still have tasks that would apply to both of them. So I'll just use the Ansible Galaxy command and create my common role. Now, this particular role is where I'm going to utilize my selinux.yml file that I included in my MariaDB playbook from earlier, which, as a refresher, the file just installs SELinux and checks to see if it's enforcing. I'm still going to make this file and include, but I also want to create another tasks file and include that. This sounds confusing, so let me go ahead and create my task file and go from there. And I'm going to call my tasks file ntp.yml. So I'm just going to create that. And in here, I'm just going to place some tasks to install and configure NTP. So name, install NTP, yum, name equals NTP, state equals present. My second task, configure NTP file. Use the template module with the source set to ntp.conf.j2 with the destination set to etsy.ntp.conf. Then I'm also going to restart NTP. Then I have my start the NTP service task using the service module. Start it with name equals NTPD, state equals started, and enabled equals yes. So that is my NTP tasks file, and I'll go ahead and save that. And there are a couple things that I need to handle in here. So just taking a look at it, I have a template file that I need to move into my templates directory. I also have a notify, which means I need to place a handler for that notify in my handlers directory. And I also have a standard NTP drift file where my NTP server IP is set to a variable. So I will need to define that IP in my VARS main YAML file. So I'll start with that. Need to buy that. Perfect. Let's go ahead and define that NTP server 192.168.1.2. So I'll save that. I've defined my variable. I need to handle my handler. So I'm going to cd up one into handlers main YAML and add in my handler, restart NTP, service, name equals NTPD, state equals restarted. Save that. So I created my tasks file. I defined my variable in the VARS main YAML file. I defined my handler. And so now all I need to do is move my template file into the templates directory. And I actually have that in a test files directory, a few directories up. So I'll go ahead and move that into templates. So now that I've done all that for the NTP role, I also want to move my SELinux role into my tasks directory. And then I can include both of them to use inside my main YAML file for the overall role. So I'm just going to move this SELinux. So if I do an ls here, I should have 3 files. And I do. And so now I'm going to modify my main YAML to include both of these files. And that looks like the same syntax as it does in a main playbook. So all I do is include selinux.yml, include ntp.yml. So when I call the role in my main playbook, it will start with the SELinux tasks file, and then it will move on to the NTP YML, including everything that's in the task. So it would act upon the task in there, and then it would move on to the template task, which would pull in the templates file. It would move on to the handler and restart, which would pull in the handlers, and it would pull in the VARs that I defined in VARs main YAML. So now in our next lesson, we're going to show how to call these roles in our main playbook.